Hello YouTubers. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up two of these supposedly sealed rolls that were sold on eBay, and I'm doing so to show people why they should never buy supposedly sealed rolls off eBay, and the people who are doing so are just there to take your money, and they are scammers. So the first one we're going to open today is this roll of Morgan dollars. You can see the label here. It's got a Nevada label. These are absolutely 100% fake, but they look pretty good. It's 1893 on one side, and the reverse has got a Carson City Mint mark. And they, both sides look pretty nice condition. And if we look in the red book, we will notice that the 1893 cc Morgan dollar right there, and even, AU condition is $2,500 retail value. So people get caught up in the thought that, who knows, perhaps there are some 93 cc's in here and maybe some very valuable coins. So we're going to open that one up. We're also going to open up this cent roll, which isn't quite as bad, but you have a 1943 steel cent on this end and a brilliant uncirculated copper cent over here. So I'm not sure exactly what the seller was trying to convince people of, that the rest are 1943 coppers or what, but here we go. All right. Boy, that is pretty tight. Oh, there we go. Starting to give a little bit. Alright, here we go. Let's see what exactly comes out of our roll, and I'll go by them one by one so what we can see what we have. So the first coin, 1893. Let's see the reverse. Oh, Philadelphia. 1896. Philly. 98. Philly. What's that? 83-0? Yeah. 87. Philly. Another 83. And 83-0. So looks like we're getting some, mostly BU coins, some slider BUs here. 82. Looks like an O. 82-0, yeah. 96. 96 Philly. So far, not even one Carson City. 97 Philly. 1900 Philadelphia. Excuse me. 87 Philly. 84 with a bit of unattractive toning to it. 84-0. Looks like a 98. 98 Philly. Another 84. 84-0. No Carson Cities. Surprise, surprise. An 85. 85-0, looks like. Yeah. 86. And 87. an 86 Philly, an 87 Philly. All right, and so we know this last one is going to be a Carson City coin because we saw the Carson City mint mark. And what are the odds that it's going to be a rare one? I don't think very high. An 83cc, of course. A common date. And so you can quickly see how if you were thinking that you might end up with something valuable, you will not. And granted, I think most people understand to a certain extent that they're not going to wind up with a roll of 93cc Morgan dollars. But people are gambling on the fact that, you know, they might wind up with something that's halfway decent when what they really are getting is a mixed AU-BU roll of Morgan Silver dollars with one Carson City dollar. Not a good deal for the thousands of dollars people will pay sometimes for these rolls. We're going to do the cent next. Okay, just as a reminder, here's our cent roll with the 43 steel cent and the copper cent on the reverse. And again, I'm not really exactly sure what the seller was hoping people would think here, because neither of those coins on their own are going to be very valuable. But I'm certain that when they sold this, that they got more money than the roll was actually worth. And look at that. I mean, they're not even BU coins. They're circulated coins inside. It's pretty miserable. But let's go through and see what we get. So our first coin was our 43, looks like a D from here, 43D. And it's a nice BU steel cent. I mean, it's worth a couple dollars. What do we have here? A 1952D in about AU unkish condition. 1916, well worn. 1919S probably, well worn. 1930S, well worn. Gosh, what is this? A 33, 32? Well worn. Steel cent, very well worn. Just doesn't matter. Alright, another BU coin. Common date, of course, 1955. S. It's pretty. What else do we have here? 34. Well worn. 36S looks like. A little bit of environmental damage. A 57 AU-ish. Is that an 18? I can't even really see. 25, something like that. Doesn't matter. It's so well worn that these are just common date cents that have no real value. You know, a few cents a piece. There's a 53. That looks, you know, halfway decent. Just, unfortunately, doesn't matter. 1930, there might be a mint mark there, but in that condition, you know. Quickly see that, you know, you're not going to be getting anything of real value out of this roll. And of course the seller, you know, they know exactly what they're putting in these rolls. You know, they sell them as unsearched. They usually say that their grandfather or their uncle or, you know, some other story. You know, it's a halfway decent looking 1917 cent, but it just doesn't matter. You know, it's not a valuable coin. They say their grandfather or uncle collected these things or found them in a bank vault, or, you know, it's always some variation of the same story, and it is always 100% of the time untrue, a scam. And these sellers know exactly what they're doing. They're getting higher money than their coins are worth. They're letting people feel, you know, a little bit of the thrill of the hunt. But in doing so, they are taking money away from real collectors who typically they're just getting started out. And the unfortunate thing is that in doing so, collectors get frustrated with the hobby, and then they abandon it altogether. That's something that real coin dealers do not want to happen. All right, we have a 1893 Indian cent. It's well worn. You know, it's VG-ish. It's, you know, worth a couple bucks retail. And so I guess you're supposed to get excited by, wow, look at that, I found an old Indian cent. And maybe a novice collector might, you know, get excited by that, but it's not going to make up for the premium that they paid for this supposedly sealed roll. And granted, these aren't going to be selling for thousands of dollars, but they're still selling for far too much on eBay. And you can just go on eBay and look at, you know, sold listings to see that. Okay, we've got a couple more Indian cents here. Let's see what we get. We get a 1905. Well, at least we have a full Liberty in the band. But, you know, again, a couple bucks. What do we have here? 1904. Recolored, cleaned. Again, a couple dollars on a retail level. Another early teen, but it's just a common one. 1913. You get another steel cent. Not as nice as our first one. But still. And this was the end coin of the roll, a 1954S. So, mostly what you have here is a pile of very common stuff that, I mean, these are worth 2 to 3 cents a piece. Maybe a little bit more for some of the early dates, but I mean, not enough to significantly matter. And then you have a few AU-ish, BU-ish coins here that, I mean, frankly, from most people's perspective, they're also going to be just a few cents a piece. Maybe a little bit more for this, you know, nice BU steely here, you know, a few dollars. And then there was one legitimately nice 55 cent, again, you know, a few dollars, the most. You have 3 Indian cents here, which, if we were going to buy them retail, you'd be looking at, you know, a couple dollars, $3, something like that for most dealers. The rest here is just a few cents. So, I mean, you can, you can quickly see how this is not a good investment for you, and that the thrill of the hunt is going to be very disappointing when it actually comes down to, you know, opening your rolls. Sometimes what people will do is, upon figuring out that they've been scammed, they will try to recoup some of their investment by passing on their mistake to another collector, which I highly do not encourage. Again, you're just spreading the disappointment along, and I don't think that's very ethical either. So, again, my advice: do not buy these unsearched rolls off eBay. You will be in for a disappointment.